Hello, Michael Sheridan here. Welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show all about your dreams and their meanings. If you want your dream done, send it to radioshow@dream-analysis.com. If you want to come on the air, phone the station on 425-373-5527. That's 425-373-5527. You can find these and all other details, including archives of previous show, on my website at dream-analysis.com/kknw. Please do send in your dreams, I need them, and don't assume others will. As always, thanks to everyone who does and everyone who listens. So, just starting off with dreams today again. This first dream from Anne is a career dream, and she titled it Dog. And we need a little bit of a background. Sometimes that helps, especially, in fact, in this case, when you see the analogy between the dream and something that she compares in real life. This is one of the difficulties with the dream interpretation. A person can have a personal association with a symbol, and that personal association then changes its standard meaning. So it's always important to know these. So she says, Michael, a little background. First, I've had a lifelong fear of dogs. I like them, but they seem not to like me so much. In the last few months, my interaction with dogs has improved by leaps and bounds, as I decided that when they chase, attack, and growl at me, I will smile and call them to me. Works almost every time. Anyway, that kind of makes me wonder where the heck is she living that she's getting attacked and chased by dogs so often. So here's her dream, called Dog. I'm entering the office where I work. It's dark. I go down the back stairs to turn off the alarm. I hear a dog growling. I gingerly start to back up the stairs. The dog grabs my hand. It's a big Doberman. I don't fight against it. It has my right hand, but I start talking to it softly. The dog continues to snarl and growl and starts dragging me down the hallway. I notice that my hand doesn't hurt. It feels like the dog has no teeth and my hand is just in a tight glove. I continue to talk softly, saying, "It's okay, everything is all right. Is anyone here? This dog is attacking me. It's okay." As the dog continues to drag me, my feet leave the ground and I just float along with it. Okay, now that's the end of her dream, but an important piece is she says she took a break after the dream, went back to sleep, and all she saw in front of her in her next dream was a sign that said, "Allow God." Okay, so I contacted this lady. I frequently do this by emails, but I contacted this lady and we spoke just before the show. So I got a few more details. And the first is that she entered the building by the back office and exited by the front office. And that's really key, important in this dream. So what it's about is the dog represents, because she's overcome her fear of dogs in reality, the dog represents a fear that she has the ability to overcome. So it uses the analogy of the dog to say, look, this is something you can do, you can easily do. That's why it's shown up as a dog in the dream. Still have the fear, but you're going to do it despite the fear, just like with the dogs. Now, what is the thing? Well, she says she's entering the office where she works in the dream and going in through the back door, and the dog is dragging her to the front door to take her out. So the dream is saying to her, quite literally, you need to leave your job. Now, when we talk to her, well, we'll get a little bit more of the dream and then I can say what she filled in when I spoke to her. So it's fine that we have, she says, the dog had no teeth and it's dragging her down a corridor or hallway. So a corridor or a hallway in a dream, they represent a place where you only are temporarily. So it's a transition. You use a hallway or corridor to get from one room into another. You don't actually stay in a corridor. So it shows that she's in a transition, and it would be very likely in reality that she would know the fear that the dream is trying to pick up. She works in a dental office, which is quite interesting, and she mentions that the dog has no teeth. And teeth in this context can mean a number of things, and this is amazing how creative people can be with their dreams. So the first thing is saying she's to face her fear and rise above it. That's what the floating up in the dream is about, is rise above your fears. They're in the present right in her life right now, and they are. And the next dream says she's to trust in God. It's as simple as that. They all just simply go together. And the teeth part says that she's afraid of biting off more than she can chew because the dog has no teeth. And we have that expression. So that's what she's afraid of. And when I asked her what it is she's looking at doing that brings up this fear, she's a trained hypnotist and has various other skills under her belt. and she wants to move full time into that, but she wants to move slowly, kind of organically from where she currently works to into that other profession. And this dream is saying, don't do that. This dream is saying, just get out of there. It's time for you to move on. And when you see that in a dream, you know everything's going to work, and it's really good. And the reason we can say that it's saying get out of work is because the dog is taking her out the front door. It would be very different meaning if the dream had the dog taking her out the back door. So a really good dream when you know you have something to do, and then you just list through all the things that are holding you back. If you look at and say, okay, I have 7 things I need. I need financial stability. I need my partner to support me. I need somewhere to work from, and so on and so on. List all the things that you do have and list the things you don't have. And if just confidence and faith in doing it is what you don't have, that's going to come in time when you do it. But a good dream, because it goes in line with what it is she wants to do. And the next dream is a health dream, and it's very short and sent in by the dreamer's partner. And she says, my husband dreamed he was in the dirt catching small brown tree frogs. He caught 4 frogs, handing them to me as he caught them. One got away from my hands. He recaught it and still had 4. So the way you look at this, I had to look up small brown tree frogs. That's how you do it. Get on Google or whatever. The other parts, some parts of the dream are obvious, like the dirt and the tree and brown all say this is about elimination system, something affecting his elimination system. And interestingly, elimination system is the one thing in dreams that people do not want to be honest about. I always find that really, really strange. People will put their hands up in a crowd and say, yes, that's me, for dreams that are extremely revealing in other ways. But when it comes to problems with elimination, people are just very reserved. I don't know why it is, but they are. So there's a problem there. The brown tree frog it's a tiny little frog, and you have to be very careful of its skin when you're handling it because its skin is so thin. And of course, this frog breathes through its skin, so it's very important to protect it. So when we have the dream showing elimination system and then something whose skin is so important to look after, it's pointing at possible issues with the skin, simple thing like a rash, not anything major. And it doesn't have to be all over the body, it could be on the legs, just for instance. And he's handing these frogs to his partner in the dream. So this is saying to put this issue in her hands. And so very likely then she has a hands-on healing ability. I've done some of her dreams before, but I can't remember. But I assume she does because of this dream. And then to put it in her hands and let her use her healing ability on him. So if I said anything else in my notes, nope, that's it. They are a frog you can keep as pets. I didn't realize you can, even though it says don't take them from the wild. That really pertains to some of her comments. But anyway, next dream is about guidance, and it's called the Illuminati. And I find it interesting. I didn't even hear anything about the Illuminati until I came to Seattle a few years ago. Basically, they are supposedly an alien race that live among us, that control all the seats of high power and things like that. And I think they're also reptiles. Anyway, the word is good, Illuminati or illumination. Anything to do with light is good. So that's a positive thing in the dream. But then there's a fear around this because these were puppets to the Illuminati in the as the story goes. So this dream is about aliens being among us, but the aliens in this case for this dreamer are her guides, and they are indeed among us, but not everybody can see them. They're all around, helping every one of us in our lives all the time. We have to remember to ask them for help. I mean, they will help us anyway to achieve our life purpose. But if you want help on day-to-day things, you must ask, because they don't interfere. It's one of the cardinal rules of spirituality, non-interference or free will. So really important to ask for the help. But anyway, they are there. But this woman has a mistrust of their purpose for being there and their guidance and so on. So let's continue on a bit with the dream. I was with my parents in the kitchen of the home I lived in as a teenager. So this brings you back to your teenage years. A mature woman and a shorter young man with a rough appearance pushed their way through the front door. Now we have front door again, so this is going to be about the present, just like the last dream that had the front door, it's about the present. So this dream is pushing you to get in touch with your spiritual nature, and that's fine. This is something you very likely consciously want to do, but we have reservations, and we quite often don't know where they come from. And this dream is pointing it out. Comes from the when you were a teenager and issues with your parents, which you are familiar with. They claim to be looking for my sister Marina, who was not present, and in brackets she says, I don't have a sister Marina. So then you look up that word, you put it into Google again, and it says a marina is a dock or a berth. Now you don't need to use Google for that. You already know that. It is a dock, and a dock for small ships. So not commercial ones. So this says this dream is about your birth or life purpose and why you came here. Because the dock is where ships end their journey or start their journey, and that's what we do. Symbolically, arrive at a port symbolizes our birth. And we also say ship's berth at a marina as well. So we have the pun. Anyway, she says, I was suspicious of the pair and asked the woman, are you an Illuminati? She answered yes, and I challenged her to produce proof such as a business card. When she could not do so, I became nervous that they would not leave and planned to threaten us in some way. I wanted to call the police. Well, go ahead, because the police are your guides in a dream. So you're suspicious of the pair. This pair represents you have a channeling ability, which you're already familiar with. A man and a woman in this context in your dream. Anyway, that's what they are in your dream. So you have the ability to channel. But you want proof from your guides that they exist. And you want to see it in black and white. Prove to me that you're actually there and what your business with me is, because you want to see their business card and so on. And, that's okay. They don't have any problem with you being skeptical at all. But it shows your distrust of them due to your teenage years. And it shows that distrust affects your channeling. In the next scene, I'm in a subway tunnel trying to get away from the younger man. I saw that he carried a black and white leaflet, and I could read some of the content. So again, you want to see it in black and white. You want to see exactly what they're about and what you're about. But here you say you can read some of the content. So that's great. It means you can channel, but you don't feel you can channel enough. And that's the same with most people that can channel. They feel like they could always go get a bit more before they trust it more. It said the way to identify a true Illuminati was a straight north-south line on the first joint of the middle finger of the left hand. I looked at the younger man's left hand and saw that he had amputated the middle finger. Okay, not very nice. How could he flip off people to his left then? Anyway, back to seriousness. So it's a self-inflicted injury by this person. So this is saying that your injury, your restriction with channeling is self-inflicted. So, and that's good. That's the best type of block that we could possibly have in anything in our lives. Something that's self-inflicted because of we're the one controlling it. We're the ones that can do something about it. And you certainly can. So it's okay to be this way. It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to ask for proof. It's just a phase we go through. And you will find your dreams will change and you'll be more accepting and open and so on. But it shows the change is about, the step before this, you wouldn't even see the aliens, wouldn't even know about them, and you would be saying there's no such thing. So this shows progress, and it's good that way. So this next dream is about suppression of feelings, and it's called Working in Iraq. And the dreamer says, my sister, who is deceased, told me that she and a female cousin were planning to travel to Iraq to work. She couldn't describe specifically what type of work they would do. I thought it was a bad idea and gave her all the reasons they shouldn't go. Physical danger in the midst of an ongoing war, local attitudes to women, need to cover their hair, etc. However, if they did go, they should visit the site of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Don't you love it when a dream just throws in some curveball like that? Don't absolutely go to that war-ridden zone. Oh yeah, but you have to see one of the 7 wonders of the world when you're there, which of course is another thing when you look it up. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world that is elusive because the location has not been definitively established. And one of the theories, or one of the legends, is that that Nebuchadnezzar II gave it or created it for his wife Amethyst, and in that context, it would be a huge symbol of love, and especially in a zone of conflict like that. So this dream really about Iraq, because she emphasizes the suppression of females in that culture, is about suppression of feelings, because we all have male and female side. Male side is to do with belief in our self-confidence, operating in the outside world, and so on, feeling worthy of the space you occupy. And the female side has to do with your inner world, your philosophy of life, your feelings, and your ability to express those feelings in an open and honest way. And open and honest mostly refers to you being honest with yourself, and being able to say, this is how I really feel. Because what tends to happen when we suppress our feelings because of being hurt at a young age, we get so trained into doing it that we don't even notice those feelings coming up anymore. Now, we think we're suppressing our feelings because it's suppressing pain, which it does, but it also suppresses our ability to feel other feelings of today. So we can't just suppress past feelings, we suppress all feelings. That's how it works. And we have this wall we build up that keeps us at a distance from others, or keeps others at a distance from us, really. And they can't get through that impenetrable wall that we put there. So this dream is saying you need to drop that. Don't be looking at the world like you're in a conflict zone and people are out to get you. So whatever caused you to be that way needs to be looked at, and allow for the expression of your female side. Now, I know, yes, we definitely have the analogy. We definitely can say that part of the world suppresses females and suppresses female expression, literally. But in your dream, it's your dream. You pick the places in your dream. You pick everything in the dream. They all represent an aspect of you. So you picked a part, you pick symbols that represent suppression of your female side. And you said in other comments that you have dealt with issues with your mom, and that you always feel that when you see flowers in a dream now, that it's a strong message from your mom who's deceased, that she loves you. And so the hanging gardens here would actually have an extra strong significance for you because of that. But it's all about giving yourself love, or the ability. The whole idea is that if we don't get love from our mom, if we don't feel it, even if she gives what she can, if we don't get what we think we need, then we close up and close the shell, batten the hatches. And the dreams say, okay, if I can symbolically give you all the love that you never got, you won't have this poor bond with the earth plane anymore. You will feel loved and feel capable of opening up and allowing other people in, and also allowing yourself out, allowing yourself give this expression. And that's going to help you enormously in your life. Helps anybody with that issue, but it would help you enormously. Next dream is about a spiritual ability, and is called washing the baby. Very short dream. My job was to wash an unusual baby. The baby had a human face and torso, but had flippers for arms and legs. I thought I would have to get in the water with the baby in order to wash it properly. And the answer is yes, you do. Get in the water. That's the whole point. You're a channel. You already know that from other dreams. I know it from other dreams, and I've told you. We've done them on the air. So the dream is saying you need to get in the water, because that's what you're born to do it. Just like a baby that was born with flippers is meant to be in water, you're meant to be in the water, and the water, of course, represents a spiritual field. So that's what you're to do. It will make sense of your life. And an interesting thing is, a very difficult start to life, like you've had, can happen. It can be one of the ways that we choose to retain our a strong spiritual connection. Like when we get here, we go through this whole phase of forgetting everything about the spirit world, forgetting everything about previous lives and so on. And for some of us that come here, we want to retain the strong connection with the spirit world. So we do something that stops us really plugging ourselves in strongly on the earth plane. And you did it with a very poor bond with your mom. May seem horrible, but it's a simple way of doing it. And that's why I say, get into your spiritual nature, because that will make sense of your life. But it's one of the strong ways that you find people bring their abilities with them. Okay, let's have a look at another dream. This one is from somebody who is cutting the ties. It's called the Hatchet, and it's about therapy for childhood issues with dad, and dad/stepdad. And so she's currently doing cutting the ties. And I say all the time, if you're sending in a dream and you are doing a therapy, please let me know. Doesn't have to be cutting the ties, any therapy. Seeing a counselor or seeing a hypnotist, seeing anything, let me know, because it will affect the meaning of your dream. because it'll show what the therapy is working on rather than the issues that you're missing in your life. So here the dream is. All I remember from the dream is that my stepdad was coming after me with a small, sharp hatchet. And we already have small, means your relationship with your stepdad, and in your case it is your stepdad, makes you feel small, your relationship as a child. He was in front of me. He wasn't chasing me. Now you point that out. So in front of you means this is something you must face because it's on your path in the dream. It's right in front of you. It's not something behind you. It's not something you're to leave in the past. So you must now deal with the issues with your stepdad. And that's perfect because you already are. I was holding up my hands, begging him not to hurt me. That tells us he did. But he started chopping at me with the hatchet. And chopping here and the hatchet represent an anger, an extreme anger. If I was to say somebody was very cutting, you know what that means, and that's what it means in a dream. Chop you to pieces, that's the way he would have been. The blade was connecting with me on my abdomen and causing shallow cuts. He also caught me a couple of times on my upper arms and hands, and all the while I'm asking him to stop, asking if we can just talk about it because I don't understand why he is so angry with me. I woke up before it got too bloody. Well, that's great, you can control your dreams like that. But you say it in a nutshell in your second last sentence, I don't understand why he is so angry with me. And that's what the dream is about. It's about the issues with your dad. They affect your abdomen. So dealing with the issues with your dad is going to fix any issues, any physical health issues you have there. And you say that he causes shallow cuts. Well, that's not true. The reality is they're deep cuts. We do things in dreams to try flip them over and make them not as bad as they are. So deal with the issues with your dad. That'll help any weight problems or any other digestive system problems that you may have. But it's a good dream because you're cutting the ties with your dad already. It's showing that this is underway. And this is extremely common. When you're cutting the ties, you quite often see blood in dreams. You see people bandaged up. Well, she doesn't mention blood, but you see people bandaged up and severed limbs and so on. And it just is a phase of therapies. The issues that you needed to express in the past that you didn't understand, like this lady says, come up and will find expression today because you're doing the therapy. But it is something that's ugly to look at, and it shows up that way. I am looking at the clock and trying to pick some nice dreams that I like. I'm watching, so this is a life purpose dream. The lady says, I'm watching a biography of a woman. There was a movie made about her life. She was tall with brown hair. Sigourney Weaver played the role of the woman in the movie. At the end of the movie, the narrator says, and she never ever forgot that she was a storyteller. So it's very simple. When this dream says you're a storyteller, you can tell people stories. You can narrate the story of people's lives. You've had other dreams where they show that you can connect all the threads of a person's life together. And Sigourney Weaver says you can channel. That's what that would mean in a dream. And going on to another dream from yours, same lady, another life purpose one. And this is kind of funny. You mightn't think so, but kind of funny in a way. I'm walking across the I-90 bridge with my mom towards Seattle. The bridge is closed to traffic and there are many people out walking on it. We're almost to the Seattle side, but still on the floating part. My mom is wearing a long black raincoat. The edge of the bridge has no rail. It just drops straight off to the water. My mom is looking at something on the hillside on the shore and she accidentally walks right off the edge of the bridge into the water. She starts to sink, but then comes up to the surface. I ask if she's okay. She says something like, look at the Christmas lights. On the shore, there is a lit Christmas tree. Then she slips below the surface again, slowly sinking. I start to panic and call for help. She isn't struggling or even really trying to swim at all. No one around me responds to my calls for help. She sinks down into the water and drowns. I wake up. Okay, sounds like a horrible dream, but it's not. Dreams allow you eliminate issues to do with various different things. And this is the same lady who had a dream on the same bridge, the I-90 bridge, 2 weeks ago that I did on the air. And it brought up a part that showed an ability that I couldn't quite figure out. And I said I would get to the bottom of it. And I did, and I channeled on it. So she has an ability to go where spirits usually can't go. So the bridge is close to traffic in this dream. It's the same thing. So cars can't go on this, but you can walk it. So you can go here without your body. That's what it represents. The car represents the bodies. And so you can go here, but you can only go here without your body. Your mom doesn't even make it going here. So this lady, it turns out, has an ability to change people's karma. She doesn't really, well, she can affect their karma. She doesn't change the karma, but she can go to the causal plane and rearrange things and make it to where a person is dealing with whatever they want to work on right now, or whatever she wants them to work on right now. Very, very unusual ability. I don't think I ever saw it before. I do know people who can go to the causal plane, or I've known people that could. It's not an easy thing to do at all, which is why I said in the previous analysis that it shows she can skirt with death, but it doesn't have a danger to her. Now, of course, there is a danger, but she's skilled with this, so she's able to go to this plane and come back. The trick is not going to the spirit world. There's always many ways to get there. Jumping off a bridge is one. It's coming back is the real trick, and this lady has the ability. So that's one of her skills, and that's what the I-90 bridge is about. The 90 is, of course, saying I-90 is it's your thing, and really pushing you to achieve your life purpose. It's saying, look, you have to do it, you have to do it. And letting any issues that are below the surface with your mom to go, because your mom slips below the surface in the dream. So it's saying any issues with your mom, you need to let go. And even your mom is pointing out in the dream to you, look at the Christmas lights. Now, Christmas is about Jesus' birth. So the analogy there is that it's about your birth. And the lights then say it's you're from the light and you came here to do something very specific and very important. Everybody's life is important. I don't mean it that way. So it's a good dream, a really nice dream. Like it because of the emphasis that even in what seems like a time of dismay, it's saying focus on the reason you came here, like the mother pointing out, look at the Christmas lights. Really good. We have 1 minute left, so what can I squeeze in? Okay. I was with people talking about where my partner and I had lived over the years. I was proud to talk about Seattle, which is where we currently were in the dream. I mentioned Alki and how much we could rent a 2-bedroom for $800 a month. A man that was listening to me showed me a stone that he had purchased at a New Age type store. It was iridescent, rainbow and silver, much like the one that I had found in Waking Life on the beach in Federal Way. It was carved through and a name on the back of the artist and so on. I explained it was special, and I had decided, I'm cutting this short, I had decided I was going to show people around a tour of Seattle since I knew it so well. So this dream is saying, you are here now to start using your spiritual ability to explain to your spiritual understanding to your children. You have a rainbow and a crystal child. You need to look these up. These are very connected to the spirit world. The rainbow one more so may never have been here in a physical incarnation before, but both very, very psychic. They're the little man listening. The man in the dream listening to you is the little man in your life, your son. Anyway, more by email since we're cutting this one short. Thank you very much. See you next week.